Speaker of the House, proud to have him back on the show. Congressman Mike Johnson, of course, Speaker of the House and our congressman right here from the great state of Louisiana. Well, Congressman, another fun day, I guess, coming up, huh?
Oh, boy. It's not fun for the American people, I tell you what. We just had a massive press conference out on the west front of the Capitol, right beneath my speaker's balcony. We had hundreds of reporters, cameras out there overlooking the National Mall, and we pointed out that, you know, on a normal day, Moon, you've got tens of thousands of visitors here. You have families and school groups and kids walking these grounds. That, you know, we have 7,000 people a day visit the Capitol building itself. But that's not going to be the case today, because when these boys and girls walk up to the doors, they see a sign that says closed until further notice, and that's because at midnight last night, the Democrats did it, man. They walked the plank. They followed through on their threat, and they have shut down the government. And it's dangerous. It is a decision that's going to inflict real pain on real Americans, and it was totally unnecessary.
Let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask it this way, too, Congressman, not to put you on the spot. Can you give us some of the crazy requests these people are asking, or any kind of insight behind closed door, what these people want? Can you share anything like that people need to know? Because somebody said, well, what's new? Because the same old fight. I'm going, well, I got the speaker on. I'll just ask him, is there anything behind the scenes you can say, look what these people are trying to do?
I'm so glad you asked me, because this is very different than any situation before. I've been in Congress over 8 years now. We never had a situation like this. So what's different? Well, since I got here, and for many years before that, Moon, Congress has been broken when it comes to spending taxpayer dollars. And what does that mean? Well, the way it's supposed to work is that Congress is supposed to do its job. It's supposed to pass 12 separate appropriations spending bills every year. And why are they separated into 12 bills? Because that way you get real debate, discussion, deliberation over the most efficient and effective use of precious taxpayer dollars. It's the opposite of the way Congress has been operating, where you do everything in a giant omnibus spending bill that's thousands of pages long that no one's read. That is wasteful, and it is irresponsible. So since I became Speaker almost 2 years ago, I have been working around the clock to try to force back the muscle memory, Moon, to make Congress work again, to do the separate bills. So good news. We did that this year. The House Appropriations Committee worked, frankly, in a bipartisan fashion, and they passed 12 separate appropriations bills out of committee. 3 of them came to the House floor. We passed them. We're in the process of getting the job done. But the problem is we ran out of time, because the end of the fiscal year is September 30th, not December 31. So in order to buy ourselves a little more time, Moon, to keep rebuilding that muscle memory and to get the job done, we need 7 more weeks. So we put a clean continuing resolution, a stopgap funding measure, just to bridge that gap until November 21st, in good faith, man, to allow everybody to do their jobs here. Now, Chuck Schumer, while he's always voted for CRs, continuing resolutions in the past, for decades, okay, and he's given passionate speeches about how you should never shut the government down, suddenly he flipped. Why? Because Chuck Schumer, one simple reason, there's one reason, Moon, the American people are going to be hurting today. That is because Chuck Schumer made a political, selfish decision. He's afraid he's going to get challenged by the far left in his party in his next reelection. That AOC is going to challenge him for the Senate seat in New York. So he has to put up a fight to show that he's more liberal, more left, more crazy Marxist than AOC.
Wow.
That's what this is about. Wow. And real people are going to be hurt.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let me quote. I want to quote a friend of yours, Charlie Kirk, and I just want to get your take on it. This was January 17th, 2019. We should use this government shutdown as a chance to shrink government permanently. Workers on essentials, they shouldn't be working in government in the first place. I like that. I think that's good. Will a president do any of that? Is that, I think it's, a matter of fact, I read one bill that the 750,000 furloughed people is $400 million a day. Boy, Mike, you talk about change a budget overnight. I'm just asking, is that reality?
Yeah, so it's a very important question. There are some good things that could come out of a shutdown, but there's pros and cons, okay? So let me tell you the cons first, and then I'll tell you the positive thing that Charlie was talking about there. The cons are that as we're talking right now, Moon, hundreds of thousands of hardworking federal workers have been given furlough notices. It's going to be millions of American workers who just serve in some area of the federal government who are being sent home. Half of our civilian workforce is being sent home today. Troops and Border Patrol agents, Moon, are going to go without pay. Now, you may say, well, that's not a big deal. It's a big deal. If you have somebody deployed overseas serving in uniform and they leave their wife and small children behind, they're not going to get a paycheck this month because Chuck Schumer has decided to do this. Okay, you've got food assistance programs, veterans benefits, vital support for women, infants, and children. All that's coming to a halt. FEMA. Moon, do you know FEMA will be shut down in most of its programs? If you're a homeowner whose flood insurance lapsed and you need a new policy or to renew it, you can't do that right now because that program just shut down. We're in hurricane season. We got hurricanes out on the east coast of the U.S. This is real dangerous stuff. Okay, so that's the cons. The pro side is what Charlie was referring to and what I talked to the president about in the Oval Office 48 hours ago. It does give an opportunity to the power in charge, the president in charge, to make unilateral decisions that don't need a vote of Congress about which programs in the government are essential and which are not. Policy, personnel decisions. Chuck Schumer, very stupidly, Moon, just walked right into that trap. He's handed President Trump the keys to the kingdom. He gets Office of Management and Budget, which is Russ Vought, who's on our team, that works for the president. He's the one that will sit down with a pen and paper and make the decision. So Charlie was right those years ago. It does give an opportunity to eliminate bloated, unnecessary federal programs that we would like to vote down, but we never had the votes in the Senate to do. Now we have the moment. So very real harm to real Americans, but ultimately could be a benefit to the country for taxpayers if in this process we can get rid of some of the government fat.
Yeah, by the way, talking to Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, and we've got a few more minutes. We're going to let him get out of here because I know he's got a busy day. I was listening to John Kennedy, and I had made the comment earlier that I'm trying to figure this out. So on something like this, the president's for it, the House votes for it, but the Senate takes 60 votes. So I think Rand Paul didn't vote for it, but maybe you got 52, you got a few Democrats to come over. And yet the Democrats, Jeffries and Schumer and them stand up and say, the Republicans own everything. They got the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and this is their shutdown. But in all fairness, 60 vote with only 53 Republicans. It takes Democrats. So it's really not on the Republicans because 99% of the people voted for it on the Republican side. But it's an argument they're trying to make. So my question is, how are they winning in the PR battles right now? Because I know y'all keep an eye on that with media and all that stuff.
Well, they're not. They're not, Moon. That's the other way the script has been flipped. Usually in a CR situation, Republicans are getting hammered. That is not the case right now. There was a New York Times poll that came out yesterday that said 65% of Americans strongly oppose the Democrats shutting down the government because they didn't get all this crazy stuff they're asking for. They want to give, this is their counterproposal, they want to give taxpayer-funded benefits and health care to illegal aliens. Okay, we just outlawed that in the big, beautiful bill. They want us to reverse that. We're not doing that. They want to spend $1.5 trillion new dollars in wasteful spending. They want to prop up NPR and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting with $500 million. I mean, all sorts of just crazy things that they know we're not going to do. So the American people are seeing through this. They know that Chuck Schumer has made this decision, and it comes down to having 7 or 8 Democrats in the Senate fold, give in on these crazy demands, and do the right thing. It's going to happen. I just don't know how long it's going to take. I hope it's quick.
Yeah, this is the last question. So is there going to be any give-in by Republicans on this? And I've always said the Republicans are doing great for giving in. I'm asking you, and it's not really in your hands because y'all already voted right on the House side. I understand that. Right. But will a Republican say, we're not moving? We're not moving. Y'all want to come on, sign a bill, we'll go, we move on, we'll talk about it for the next 7 weeks. Will y'all hang tight and not let them bully y'all through the media mostly and through social media?
Yeah, when you texted me this morning, I sent you a reply with that little short video of Braveheart. You know, William Wallace has his face painted saying, hold. Okay, that's what's happened here. And I'm delighted to tell you the Senate Republicans are as resolved as we are to hold the line. And so is the president. So we're totally united, White House, Senate, and House Republicans, to do the right thing for the American people.
The last thing, do you think anything moves in the next few days, or it really basically gets back to them?
Well, there's only one question to be answered by the Democrats in the Senate. How long are they going to allow Chuck Schumer to drive them off this cliff? How long are their troops going to go unpaid so that Chuck Schumer can fend off a primary challenge from his left? That's the question, and I don't think they can hold that line very long. Yeah, okay. All right, Congressman, Speaker of the House, Mike John, thank you, man. You didn't have to call in, you did. I'm grateful, and the state is grateful. You're
we
appreciate
it,
brother.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, we got to take a break. More to come.